So again, what we're going to be doing today, we're just going to be talking about why we're doing this, how watching film can be beneficial for all of us, some tips on watching game film, and then, like I said, we'll break down a couple situations from that semifinal game, and then we're going to hear some of the reflections from some of the guys who actually were a part of that 2013 team. Okay. So why are we doing this? One, we're here to stay engaged with water polo. Even if we're not in the pool, we got to be finding ways to make sure our minds and our bodies are ready to go for when we do get back in. We're here to interact with our teammates. So at the end, we'll have some discussion. If you guys, just want to hang out and talk to each other or share what you guys are doing, you guys are more than welcome to do that. But it's important that we're staying engaged and we're working together. Mainly, we were here to learn the benefits of studying game film and to be the best players that we can be by learning from other players. Okay, so how is watching game film beneficial? Okay, from a team and coaches standpoint, so like when we do team breakdowns and team video, there's two main things that we like to focus on when we're watching film. Okay, the first thing is we want to identify opponents' tendencies. Okay, so those can be things like how do they move the ball, how do they drive, what tactics do they run, and then who are things like their main players, like who's their center, like what are some things that their goalies do, who are their main drivers, who's a lefty, stuff like that. And then for ourselves, we like to review our own performance. Okay, so did we execute our game plan? What did we do well? What do we need to improve? And then for myself, I really like to make sense of the numbers, right? So the hows and the whys. How did we give up 5 goals? Why did we have 15 turnovers, right? I like to go back in the film and see, like, do the numbers that are on the stat sheet make sense when I rewatch it? Okay, so that's how film's beneficial for teams and coaches. And now as an individual athlete, when you're watching film, either on yourself or on another team, you get to see the big picture, right? You get to see things that either you're doing or that your teammates or another player is doing, and see how they relate to what you work on in practice, right? So we get to see how practice translate into gameplay. We get to see results, right? So we get to see the things that we worked on in practice and if they work or if they don't work in the pool during a game, right? And there's 2 results that we're going to see. We're either going to see a negative result, right? A negative result. So something didn't work out well, or you were in a bad position, or you made a mistake, or you missed a shot, or something like this. When we see a negative result, it's going to allow us to say, hey, okay, I see I made the mistake, and know that, okay, this correction needs to be made, right? There's something I need to do differently in the next practice or mentally to fix that mistake. Or we get to see a positive result, right? And when we see a positive result, whether it be by ourselves or from another player, that's going to give us the motivation to want to improve and continue to work on that skill to get better and better. Okay. Now, the other thing that watching film is going to really help us with as an individual, it's going to help us with our visualization. Okay. So being able to picture and understand a skill in our minds before it happens. Okay, so we can picture ourselves performing some type of action, right? Ideally, we're going to be picturing it successfully. Now, the more film that we watch, the clearer this picture in our mind is going to be, right? Because we've seen it so many times. We've seen it good, we've seen it bad. We know what it's supposed to look like. So that visualization that we can get from film is very, very beneficial. A couple other things that we can gain from watching film is we get the opportunity to identify new skills and techniques, right? Like sometimes you'll be watching film from like, European League, and you're going to see some different tactics that you're not used to, or you're going to see a player using a different way to release that maybe you've never practiced before, you've never seen before. So you'll have that opportunity. You're also going to be able to understand like common thread or common trends. So you're going to get to see and be more familiar with like different nuances of the game. And that's really, really going to help you to improve your recognition and your ability to anticipate plays, which makes a huge difference, as you'll see in some of these clips that I have for you guys. Okay. So now some tips for watching film. Okay, these are just some things that I think are important to do when I'm watching film. I think this will help you guys out a lot. Okay, one, focus. Right, make sure you're in a place where you can really get to work. You're not in the middle of lunch, have 5 other video games going on. You're not whatever, you're focused, and if you have the possibility, you're turning on the audio and you're listening to what's going on in the game. Again, watch at a workspace. Take notes. Okay, take notes. I take notes when I'm watching film of everything that I see. The film that we watched this week, I have about 2.5 pages of different plays, situations, skills that I saw that were performed well. And those just for me, so I can go back and I can look and see, watch it again and again and again, right? And whether it's to help me create a drill, or for you, if you guys want to learn how to do a new skill, you can see it over and over again. And taking notes really helps with that. Yeah. So you can take notes of plays, highlights, or uncommon situations. Okay. The other thing that I would recommend is to try and put yourself in the game, right? So getting as much information as possible. Like I sent you guys kind of the rosters of the game from this last weekend, or from this last week, from 2013. So you guys can kind of see who the players were. I gave you guys a little blurb on like, it's a semifinal game. Winner gets to go to the championship. So we can kind of put yourself in the mindset of some of these players and kind of understand how these decisions are being made in the game. So these are a few of the clips that we're going to break down. Again, I think there's 8 of them. And they're just a couple different skills that I thought would be familiar to you guys, that you guys would recognize. And I think that they just really, really demonstrate why I focus on teaching them, and they can really be a benefit to you. Okay. So shot blocking. Shot blocking 101, some things that we want to remember about shot blocking, right? We want to take away a shooting line. We look to mirror hands and match hands whenever possible. And our job is to make the goalie's job easy, right? These are all common things that we want to try and accomplish when we're doing a shot block. So this first clip, we're going to see, we have defenders on the right side of the pool. Okay, the player with the ball is he's at position 3, but he's out wide. And I want you guys to notice the 3 defenders, the center defender, the X3 defender, then the X4 defender. They all get these near side blocks up, and it makes the goalie's job really, really easy to make this save. And Malchus in the cage does a really, really good job of making the left side of the cage look like it's open. And as soon as the shot's taken, it's funneled right to him. Okay, so let's take a look. And we'll watch these a couple times and slow it down a little bit. So again, there's those blocks funneled right into the goalie. Again, see all those 3 hands up. Malchus is sitting in center cage here. Those 3 hands go up, and all Malchus has to do, or all the goalie has to do, is put that right hand up to make the save. Okay, that's great, great, great shot blocking right there. There's no way that ball is going to be able to go into that right side of the cage. Sweet. Okay. The next thing that I saw in this game that I thought was really, really good, was our center defender. A couple things about center defense. Shoot, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. With this center defense, what I want you guys to watch in this clip is the positioning that he has and the way that he allows the defense to help him out. right? To allow the perimeter defenders to help make this steal or force this turnover. So just some things about center defense, right? We want to be pushing the center into the help. Ideally, we're going to be trying to prevent any strong side moves. So we're trying to stay on that left shoulder, especially if they're a right-handed center. And we want to allow our teammates to help us. Okay? So here's our clip. So we're watching Petrovic here in center defense. He's got good length. His hips are up. He's separated with a bent elbow. He's not really focused on wrestling a whole lot. And then as soon as that ball comes in, 2 hands up allows the help to come in. Okay. So again. And really just watch that anticipation that he has. Like there's no like struggle. He knows that the help's going to be there. He understands, like, I don't need to get this steal right now. My teammates are here to help me out. And I think that's something that a lot of us as players, we forget. We get so caught up in, like, I'm the center defender. My job's defense. I'm supposed to be getting steals. That's not necessarily always the case, right? Our job is to prevent the center from scoring. But really, like, when we're in a zone like this, we want to be allowing our teammates to help us out. So one more time. So we're pushing, keeping our hips up, hands are up, no exclusion, ball gets stolen, and we're going the other way. Okay. Now this next one, counterattack offense. Okay, so some things to remember about our counterattack. We want to be trying to get the ball to our furthest player down the pool. We want to identify advantage and attack open water. And then when we have the ball, we want to force the defenders to commit to either a player or an area. Okay, and once they commit to a player or an area, that will allow us to attack open space. Now this clip happens, hold on one sec. This clip happens pretty fast. The ball is going to be on the left side of the pool, okay, and it's going to get played down line really, really quickly. But I want you guys to pay attention. As soon as Eddie, who's on the left side, gets the ball, as soon as that pass is played down line, look and see how he attacks into that open water and creates an opportunity. Okay, so there's the flick down line right there. Good. Okay. Now, obviously, that's just an awesome shot, but let's look at a couple of things that make that opportunity even happen. Okay. So again, first thing, we're looking to put the ball down line to get the ball to the player who's furthest down the pool, right? This defender who's guarding position 1, as far as he knows, that guy has a one on nobody, right? So he has to go and defend that player, right? So the player at 1 does a really good job of getting this ball up and looking like a threat to force that defender to pull away, to create this open little line or this open little pocket of water for Eddie to step into. Now, one thing that I think would be beneficial in this clip that we're not going to see is if the player here at position 3 were to clear out or go down to like this 3 post or even clear out down to like position 5, he's going to pull one of these 2 defenders with him. That's going to give Eddie a little even more space. But irregardless, just this player down at position 1 pulling the defender away creates enough space and enough time for Eddie to get off a really good shot. So let's run it back one more time. Oh, wrong way. One more time. Pass it down line, pull the defender away, step into open water, elevate, let it rip. Okay, next clip. Okay. The next two clips are scoring from center. So the first one is Goron. He's working on center, and he's going to have his back to the goal. And then the second one is going to be Bowen from Stanford. He's going to be working with inside water. And I want you guys to focus on both players and how they're finishing with the defenders on their back. Okay. And just a couple of our things to consider when we're trying to score from center, right? We want to identify where we want to get the ball from. We want to give our teammates a target or an area to receive a pass. So we're trying to create space so our teammates can make an open pass to us. And then we want to be able to use as best as we can our weight against the defender's body so we can push off them to try and create space to separate and score a goal. Okay. So this first clip is Goron. And before I even show it, this is like a really, really good tactic, a really good after goal play to set up an isolation on the 4-5 side for him. So that's one of the things that really gives him the advantage to get this opening. But I want you guys to look at how he controls the defender on his back, and then the anticipation he has before the ball even gets to him. He's already trying to step away and separate towards the ball. He's not waiting for the ball to be played in and then stepping to it. Okay. So he's going to be coming in right here on the 3-post. Okay, so he's going to seal the defender, right? He's got him on his back. Defender's hips drop. The ball comes in. Quick step out goal. Okay. We wanted that. Again, seal back to the chest. Has the defender's hips dropped. Once they're dropped, he can use his entire left side and his upper body to push off. And you can see his hips when the ball comes in. His hips are already out towards the ball. So it's almost like that, getting over your hips to a shot block. So hipping over, right? So pulling our feet or using our feet to pull that water towards the ball to get to that elevated vertical position right here. Right, so the hips are out. We're stepping out towards the ball. Our left side is in the defender's chest. We're stepping out to the ball, to vertical, lean, dunk. So one more time fast. And we'll go to the next one. Okay, this next one is Bowen. Okay, so Alex Bowen, he's going to be working with inside water. He's going to be down here on the 3-post. Again, what I want you to focus on this one is one, as soon as he feels like he has the advantage to get the defender on his back, it doesn't matter what way he's facing, right? Like sometimes we get so focused on only wanting to get to one side or the other. We have to sometimes just accept the fact that we're going to take what the defense is going to give us. So this is a really good example of that. So he's down in the 3-post. And watch the defender when he jumps to the right side. He backs in and creates that space with inside water. The quick finish over the head. And that's something that guys that have played for me for a while, I really like to focus on that, stepping over and finishing over the top. So again, right here, backs into the defender. Defender's hands are up, so that means he's vertical. Right? We can get our back into the defender's chest. There he's creating that space for the teammate to play the ball right in front where it's still safe, so the goalie can't make a steal. Step to the ball, hips towards the goal, elevate, finish overhead. It's really, really good. Let's see it one more time. Now the next 3 clips I have, these are the last 3 clips I have. These are just plays that I think would be considered high high-level IQ plays, things that you don't just get playing in your first game. These are things that these guys that are making these plays have watched a ton of film. They have a great understanding of what other teams are doing. They have a great understanding of what their tactics are supposed to be creating. And so pay attention to these next three clips. So again, high-level IQ, we're aware of all situations, the time, the score, tactic that we're running, and then what the defender is trying to do. We're always trying to be a step ahead, so we have that ability to anticipate. Another thing that I think makes a player have a high level IQ is having the ability to quickly forget a mistake and be ready to make this next play as soon as possible. Right? We don't dwell on the mistakes, we just get ready to go for this next play. And then the other thing is being able to understand and constantly weigh out our risk versus reward, right? So the more that we watch, the more that we're playing, the more situations that we put ourselves in, the better we're going to be able to be at understanding risk versus reward. Okay, so these are three plays that I think really demonstrate some really high level IQ plays. Let me break them down. Okay, so this first play is a 2 wrap drive. Okay, and we're going to see the player at position 5, the lefty here. He's going to make a really, really great read to create a goal. And it's really, really fast, but we'll break it down. We'll watch it one more time fast, and then we'll break it down slow. So the ball goes over to 4. The 2 wrap begins. Ball down to 5. Quick goal. Okay, now, what makes this a really, really high IQ play? Okay, the player at 5, to create this scoring opportunity, has to be aware exactly of what the tactic that his team is running and what it's going to create, right? So he knows that when that wrap drive happens, the defense has to pay attention to this player. So right here, you can see, as soon as, I think that's Obert going on the wrap drive, as soon as he starts to wrap around the center, all 3 of those defenders put their eyes on that drive, okay? So that creates a shooting line for Kevin down at position 5, the lefty. The next thing that happens is really, really, really fast, is because all the defenders are focused on just the driver, Kevin can just solely watch the goalie. And as soon as he sees the goalie make a mistake, he's going to score. So it's going to be really fast, and I'll try to do it slow. But right here, you can see the goalie just slightly turns his head to try and pick up where that driver's going. Maybe he's worried about an overpass or something, but just a brief little peek right there, and Kevin sees him look, winds up, and shoots it over his head. Right? So this is a high-level IQ play, right? We know what our team is doing. We know how we know what the defense is going to do to kind of react, and we're creating an opportunity for ourselves based on that knowledge. Okay, so one more time. Okay. This next clip. So this next clip, again, this goes with high IQ, and kind of talking about what I said with what I think makes a high IQ player is being aware of or being able to forget a mistake and then capitalizing on the next possession. Okay, so what we have here is we have Pacific on a 6-on-5. Eddie, who, I mean, whenever Eddie takes a shot, it's never a bad shot, but probably an ill-advised shot in most instances, a shot from 5 wide pretty early in the shot clock. As you can see, there's still 20 seconds on the shot clock on the exclusion, but I mean, he saw something, so he's going to take it, right? Didn't go in. Now, what I want you guys to watch here is as he's transitioning down to defense, and he's going to be down at a position, it's X1, but he's up pretty high. Watch his body and how he positions himself to focus on creating an opportunity of the next play and how fast he's gone. Right, so he just missed a shot, goes down to defense, anticipates a turnover, creates a counterattack, and scores a goal. Okay, now, why is this possible? It all starts with that recognition and understanding to create opportunities, right? So weighing out the risk versus reward. Eddie's been playing long enough and has seen enough film that he knows, like, if the ball is working to the 4-5 side and they're trying to play it into the center, there's only so many things that can happen, right? There's going to be an exclusion. There's going to be a goal, okay? And if there's an exclusion or a goal, he'll be able to recover and come back. If there's a turnover, though, he's going to be able to create a counterattack opportunity. So as the ball is getting played around, you can see him right here start to like drift up a little bit, drift up a little bit, drift up a little bit. And right when this pass is made in, notice how quickly he goes over his hips, and he's taken 2 strokes before anybody else has taken 1, right? And that's just that high level IQ and that high level anticipation that really separates like average players to really, really, really great players, right? These small little instances of being able to anticipate these things and create opportunities for yourself. So we're going to watch it slow. Entry pass goes in. He's over his hips. He's over his hips. Two fast strokes before anybody else can even take one. Gives him just enough space to create an advantage in front of that defender. And then he's gone. Good. Okay. Now this last little clip. Last clip. This is the game-winning goal. Okay. Pacific tie 10-10. They have a 6-on-5. What stuck out to me on this play is I'm pretty sure the design play for this is something that they did earlier in the season against Stanford. And what makes this like a high level IQ play is the understanding of what the initial read is supposed to be, and then reading the next situation, right? So you're going to see Stanford try to adjust and pick up what they think they know is going to happen. And then the player down here at 6, identifying that and putting the ball in a place that is really, it's perfect. So we'll run through this a couple times. So it's a 3 over to the 2 post, right? Again. So the 3 post is going to be wrapping over to the 2 post to set a pick on that X2 defender. The 2 post player is wrapping around, and I think earlier in the year they ran it so when the 2 post player wrapped around, 6 was looking to play it high to the 2 post player. But you can see the X2 defender kind of gets confused. Like right there, he's anticipating that they're playing for that, right? They're trying to play for that 3 post. And then when he realizes that it's not going to be there, he kind of makes a bad read, and that allows Kevin, the lefty here, to make this perfect pass right in front of Obert. And he plays this pass so well that there's only 2 things that can happen here. Obert's going to get a shot, or he's going to earn a penalty. Like there's nothing else could possibly happen, right? Ball's right to his hand, defender's on his back, game winner. Back one more time. And pay attention to that X2 position. Makes that bad read. 6 makes a great pass right in front of the 2 post. Okay, so that's it for me as far as the clips that I wanted to show you guys. Those are just some things that really stuck out to me. At this point, I'd like just to open it up and open it up to any of the guys. I think, Hughes, if you're still in here, if you kind of want to just reflect on kind of your experience in 2013 and what you can kind of share with these guys about what your mentality was and your role and things like that. It doesn't have to be.
What?
I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
That
might be easier to get people muted.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so name's Chris Hughes. So I was one of the goalies during the 2013 season. So it was interesting coming back. I actually watched the game last night, just so I was a bit prepared for this as well. But throughout the season, whether I was playing or not, because we had Malkus in the goal, was essentially just pushing people. So in practice, I was always making sure that Alex wasn't slacking off. I was trying to drive people that I was always, what can they do more? So if Goran was taking a play off, I was trying to get into them and start pushing them to go harder. Do it with Eddie, do it with Alex Obert, do it with anyone that was on the team, because we all knew what the goal was going into the season was we're playing for a national title. This was kind of our now or never opportunity. So it was making sure that whether I was playing or not, I was driving people to get to that next level. So whether it was in the gym, whether it was in the pool, anything like that. So if I wasn't playing, which was probably most of the time, just because I was the backup goalie in this, this is a perfect example of what Jeff was talking about with film. I could tell you every single player in every game, what type of shots they were taking and what the goalie tendencies were. So in the Stanford game, I could tell you that like Brett Bonatti, if he's at the 1 on 6-on-5, will fake it 3 times and shoot low, skip near side. If you're Bowen and he's at the 4, if he catch and shoots it, he's shooting it near side. If he gets up for a fake, he's shooting it cross cage. Like the same thing with Turnside, with Watkins, all of these guys. I could tell you where basically like a heat map from every position that they played and knew where they were shooting it. So before the finals, I was doing all of that work. I was breaking down every play, every position that any of them would consistently play and say, hey, Alex, this is where they're going to shoot from if this is where they're at. So if Bowen's at the 2, he's shooting it cross cage, catch and shoot, no matter what. So just knowing those tendencies is huge. And as a goalie as well, just knowing like, all right, I can bait them into what shot they think they want to take more consistently than not. And tying into it, like Drew Holland, I knew his tendencies as a goalie. I knew where he was weak. So if you had like a 9-piece grid of the goal, I knew exactly where he struggled with. So I can tell you that like Drew Holland was very weak in terms of moving laterally. So if he took a pass from the 5 to the 2 or the 1 to the 4, he struggled to get there. So what you do is catch and shoot if you have a lane. Put it near side, catch and shoot, he's not going to get there. So what Jeff is saying is huge, because you can tell everyone has tendencies, whether you think they do or not. Everyone knows like has a preferred shot, they have a preferred style. So I went into pretty much every game doing all of that work so that our starters knew what was coming for them.
That's awesome. Chris, do you have anything like maybe you could speak on just a little bit more like you talked about your role, but maybe like the team itself, like how you guys got along and like how you guys pushed each other a little bit?
Yeah. So I think because of the summer, we all knew what the goal was. There was a little bit more pressure towards everything. We all got along super well. We obviously butt heads every once in a while. Just tensions could be high at times, or you see some of your top guys not working hard and you try to get them motivated. So, but throughout the year, I mean, we were all super close. We tried to spend as much time as we could together. We would do team dinners or team lunches as much as we could. If we had morning practice, the freshmen tended to pay for breakfast. But we were trying to be with each other as much as possible just to kind of build that chemistry up. So whether it was like we're in LA for a game or a tournament, we'd try to go to like the movies together or go play like mini golf or do something that would like build the camaraderie up without actually talking about water polo all the time.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And with that too, I think Overt actually joined as well.
Yeah, Obi, are you in here?
Say what?
I think Overton. I think I just unmuted
Yeah,
him.
I could kind of hear him.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. So we just watched with these boys and girls a couple clips from that game, and I'm gonna show them the video that you shared um, with me in just a second. But is there anything that you can maybe throw at these guys just about like your motivation and what you're doing to kind of stay in shape?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you go first, Chris.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a little bit harder for me than Alex at this point. But yeah, it's even during this time where we're kind of being sheltered in place, we can't leave. It's just trying to be consistent. So whether you feel like you want to work hard or not, just getting up and doing 20, 30 minutes has been huge. Even post career, just actually being consistent, like going to the gym, whether I'm working out solo or with someone, just trying to compete in a way. So I could see someone next to me lifting this amount of weight, I'm going to try to beat them. So it's just trying to push yourself in little ways and trying to keep yourself motivated, because the motivation will come and go. I can guarantee you there's going to be days where 5 a.m. is really hard to wake up to and you don't want to do anything. And it's just getting up and taking that like first step to get to the, like go to the pool. Like get up and go to the pool is the hardest part of the whole process.
Right on. Obi, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, for me, my team, the national team, we're still kind of meeting every single day. On Mondays, we have meetings with the sports psych. On Tuesdays, we do a team workout over Zoom, which is pretty fun. We come together, we work out, we stretch everything as a team, then we break off in groups kind of by what equipment we have. Some guys have weights at home. I'm stuck in an apartment with just bands, so I'm in the just bands crew. We work pretty hard for about an hour and a half, get a really good sweat, and it's fun just to like be with the guys and do everything the same. And then we're doing a ton of film study right now, so I think this is awesome that you guys are doing this too. I think this is a huge opportunity to take the next step, like mentally, and I think that's really when I took myself from just a player on UOP, kind of a backup player, to being able to make the national team, is when I really took the mental game seriously. So it's awesome that you guys are being able to do this in high school when I didn't even really get that till second or third year of college. And I just think, as Chris said, it's all about consistency. For the first time in my life, I haven't been in a pool in over a month. So I've just been trying to run and kind of set goals for myself, running and times and mileage, and get my butt out of bed early in the morning and get out here, because I'm out in Arizona now where it gets really warm. So getting up early, running, and still keeping part with the team is pretty awesome. And I think if you guys, obviously Jeff is going to give you guys the tools. It's all about you guys putting in the work now.
Awesome. Thanks, Obi. Hey, Obi, one thing, Chris talked on it or touched on it a little bit. We were talking about kind of some tips and stuff, or I was talking about tips and stuff for watching game film. And Chris was saying how, when he was in school watching film and he was able to break down all these different players and he knew all their tendencies and stuff like that. Is there anything that you can share with these guys about what you look for when you're watching film, or insight to like, as either an individual or as a team?
Yeah, so usually when I watch film, I'll probably watch it twice. Kind of the first time you kind of go through and watch it as like a fan, and kind of just enjoy it, because all of us love water polo, obviously, and that's why we play it, so you're a fan of it. And the next time I go back and watch it, and I'll probably, because I've seen it once already, I kind of know what's going to happen, and I'm able to really more diagnose things better the second time and kind of take a more tactical approach to the film. So when we have film meetings with the coaching staff, usually we get a list of what we're going to watch with the coach. I try to go watch the film before the meeting. That way, when we go through and we can really slow it down, and I can, instead of just watching the game as a fan and being like, oh, that was a cool shot or this move, I can really slow it down in my brain and attack it mentally and be more tactician in the way I'm watching the film, and watching center, watching defender, and being like, oh, I remember this move. This is where I got beat to my left. And kind of watching maybe the 30 seconds before that, how did I set my body up for that? and then the next time now I'm more into it. So what I can say is maybe if Jeff is having you guys watch film as a group, try to get the film from him before, watch it one time through, make some notes, and that way when you come back through, you're more knowledgeable about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Obi. Hey, Obi, can I put you on the spot real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So the guys, I don't know if I sent you the Google survey that they were supposed to fill out. I think I sent you some pictures. Can you answer the last question, the bonus question of how many Olympians were playing in that semifinal game and who they were?
Yeah, I think they're in the semifinal game or the final game?
Semifinal game.
Semifinal game, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 in the semifinal game.
Say, well, how long of tenure are we counting people for?
I'm going just who played in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was it?
It's 4, right?
Yeah, it's 4.
It was almost 5. Jackson was like one of the last cuts. BJ could have been there. So that was a really talented. And now obviously Drew's with the national team and he could be 6. So that was quite a crazy year in water polo in general. There was a lot of talent in the league.
Awesome. Do you mind if I open up questions for you guys? If
No problem.
Ask any questions, guys, girls. If you guys have any questions for Chris or Obert, I'm just going to open this up for like 2 or 3 minutes, and shoot, go for it. Does anyone have anything?
Don't be shy.
I have a question.
Jared, go ahead.
How is swimming when you guys practice? Because when I watch the Pacific game, it's just constant movement throughout the entire game on offense. Everyone's moving, everyone's driving across the pool, the set's getting out of center, and it just creates so many opportunities for a 4-on-5. Because you guys are constantly getting those kickouts and you guys score on all of them. So, what's your guys' swim practice like?
I can only speak to myself as a goalie, but we were doing about 1,000 yards as a goalie. Obert, you guys probably did 2,000 yards at least, 3,000 yards?
Yeah, I would say we probably swam less than the normal team. But where we weren't swimming, we were scrimmaging a ton and playing those plays and doing that stuff like almost every single day. So I wouldn't say we were just in like swim shape and swimming yards. We did a lot of just running the plays over and over and over, playing for hours and hours. So we got really in shape by just playing more than just long swim practices. It's kind of James' style, and it's kind of been a style that I've liked. And yeah, so we just scrimmaged a ton. We pretty much almost scrimmaged every single day. And that year we've had like 14, 15 great players. So scrimmages were super intense, and it got us in great shape because of those intense scrimmages. And everyone took it super seriously.
Okay. Good question, Jared. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, Obi, Chris, thank you guys so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Really, really so much. For me, this is kind of the end of my presentation. I do have a video that I put together from some of the boys. That played in that 2013 team that I'm just going to play. I'll share my screen and just play because I'm recording this and I just want to be able to put the entire file up online at some point. If you guys want to stick on and watch that video, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I just put in the YouTube link in the chat. So if you guys don't want to stick around and watch it right now, it's pretty long. It's a 30-minute video of guys talking about their 2013 season. But if you guys want to stick around and watch that video right now, you're more than welcome to. If you want to hold off and watch it later, I completely understand that too. Does anyone have any questions before I start that video? And once I start that video, I'm just gonna put it on mute, and when it's over, I'm gonna log out. Does anyone have anything? No? Cool. All right. Well, again, before I start this video, Thank you guys for being here and tuning in. And I hope you guys learned something. Next week, if you want to get a little bit ahead, I'll be sending out the quiz and quiz, the study guide or whatever, and the game film on Monday. But if you want to get ahead, we're going to be watching that 2013 final game. So on NCAA.com, they have all finals and semifinal games from way back, all the way back from 2009. So all those games are on that website. But if you want to get a head start and watch that 2013 national championship game, that's the game that I'm going to be trying to break down for us next week. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or text me or whatever you need. Otherwise, again, thanks for being here, and I hope you guys enjoy this video because it really meant a lot to me for these guys to kind of pull their hearts out a little bit and talk about their experience. So I hope it's something that you guys take advantage of watching. All right. So, all right. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, it's Coach Derek here. First, I just wanted to say I hope everybody's staying safe and staying healthy and trying to do their part in keeping this coronavirus. Hey guys, it's Coach Derek here. I know first, I just wanted to say me just I hope everybody's all day, not being able to get in the pool, not being able healthy, and trying to go outside and really do much part, see friends. Keeping this coronavirus from spreading, gonna get better soon, and we'll be back to full water polo in no time, which I can't wait for. With that, I just wanted to put a little video together.
Sorry.
I know it's tough. It's been tough for me just sitting in the house all day, not being able to get in the pool, not being able to go outside and really do much and see friends. But this thing's gonna get better soon, and we'll be back to full water polo in no time, which I can't wait for. With that, I just wanted to put a little video together. I know Jeff is doing this, and he wanted some stuff from people on the Pacific water polo team for our season in 2013 when we made it to the national championship. So I just wanted to give you guys some insight on that and contribute to the video. I was a freshman going into that season, and I redshirted that year as well, so I just practiced, didn't play. Obviously, our team was really, really good. And no matter what role you have on the team, there's always something to learn. So as a freshman, just sit back and be able to watch all these great players do what they did every day and jump in and practice and feel all that and learn from the guys was just something that I can never get back. It's something that I'll never take for granted because it really helped me throughout my career there. As things got harder and harder, and we had to just kind of push every day to get better, and that's kind of what they did that year. They were pushing, grinding, no matter how hard it got, no matter how beat up their bodies were. They took care of their bodies. Everything was professional. It was like they were professional athletes. Training room every day, swim sets, just body beat up, taking care of themselves, and coming back the next day and doing it all again. And not only is that just professionalism, but it builds team chemistry, team camaraderie, and you can see that as well. Outside the pool, all the guys were close. It doesn't matter if you were a fifth-year senior or if you were an incoming freshman. These are people I still talk to this day, no matter if they're 5 years older than me. And that relates to the pool. Because if you're close outside of the pool, when you get in, it's just like that. Everybody connects. It's something you need on a team to be able to get to the level that we got to that season. And when I noticed that, that's kind of the one thing I took throughout my whole career, making sure that the team is always on a good note with each other. You might get in a fight in practice with a teammate or something, but after that, outside, you guys are going to go get lunch together or something, or you have a class together right after that. So it's pretty much just squashed and come back to the next practice. And that's what competing's all about. And you can see that day in and day out of each training session and each game. It was just an unbelievable season. Something that I'm glad I was a part of, and it's something that I'll never forget. Being fans on the road, cheering them on against Stanford and USC. Unbelievable run, unbelievable season, and it was just the start for Pacific. So yeah, that's pretty much just my insight. If you guys have any questions about anything about it, about the season, about the game, about water polo in general, feel free to get my phone number from Jeff and give me a text and we can chat about water polo or anything. I'm always here to help, and I hope to see you guys on the pool deck here pretty soon. Thanks, guys, and stay safe. Go Big Val. Thanks, man. Guys, and stay safe. Go Big Valley and go Pacific Water Polo.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Ben Stevenson. For those of you who don't know me, Jeff wanted me to talk a little bit about the 2013 season. So some of my memories from that season are just that right away I came in as a freshman, and I had some immediate pressure placed on me from the older guys because we knew we were really good, and they didn't want me to mess it up for them, I guess. But yeah, everybody believed that we could win the national championship that year. And I think that was the most important part, just the belief. And then the hard work after that we all put in. Yeah. I think the mentality that our team had in the 2013 season was going in and trying to win every game and just trying to do whatever it takes. Rip everybody's heads off and get the W. I mean, we were beating the shit out of guys out there. It was a pretty fun team to play on. A couple things I'm doing to stay in shape during this quarantine are yoga a little bit, maybe once a week, and then I've been running a lot. So if you can, try to get in the pool as much as possible and play with the ball.
What's up, guys? My name is JT. I graduated in 2016. I was part of the 2013 men's water polo team at University Pacific. And Jeff reached out asking me to share my experiences and some tips and advice that I give to high school players. So my experience was that entire year was really magical. And we had the most talented team in the country, I thought, by far. Just came up a bit short, as many of you guys know, but I mean, it doesn't really take away from the things that we were able to accomplish, like regular season MPSF champions. And back then, that was when we had to play against Cal, Stanford, UCLA, USC. They were in the same conference as us. So we were able to do some really cool things that year. And it was really the first year that Pacific was able to compete throughout the entire year with those top four teams. So that was really fun to be a part of. More specifically, my role on the team was I was basically a bench warmer. I was probably number 13 out of 15 guys that traveled with the team. So my advice is going to be for some of you guys that may be newer or less experienced or the role players on your team and how important that is still to a team dynamic, because at the end of the day, only 6 guys can play. So I always had the mindset of, I wanted to do what was best for the team, and knowing that, I was a center at the time, and so I was playing behind Goran, who at that time had been a 3-time first-team All-American, Obert, who's now on the senior national team. Those guys were a lot better than me, and it was very apparent. So, knowing that, I didn't put I had put my personal pride aside to do what was best for the team. And so I think that, those types of players are still super important to a team dynamic. And just because you're not in the pool playing in the most important games doesn't mean you still can't affect your team in a positive way by things that you do at practice or doing the small detailed work that everybody else is putting in and making sure that you're still prepared, even though that you're not the first person in the pool. So it takes a lot of personal pride to be able to understand that and accept that. And that was one of the cool things about the team that year, is that everybody knew their roles on the team, and they didn't really, there wasn't any complications with it. I know a lot of people want to play, and I wanted to play myself. So it can be tough, but it's really important that you maintain that spirit of doing what is best for the team, understanding that your coach has the same mentality as well. Like James was always going to do what we thought was best to put us in a position to win. And so if that required me to play, if that required me to sit on the bench, I was all for it. So that's my experience and my tips of advice that I would share to you guys. If you're in high school, I know it's probably tough to stay in shape right now, and you got to get creative though. I don't know. I'm struggling because I have to stay inside. So we're all with you guys. Stay positive though, and keep fighting. So yeah, thanks guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Murat Sabo. I was senior in 2013 at UOP when we were playing the final four at Stanford. The reason why I'm sending you guys this video is because the approach that asked us to get some feedback, our opinion, thoughts, and our mentality, the team roles, atmosphere, how we are preparing for our beat. So mentality-wise, I think everybody knows, you from the team, that we have a big chance. Still we are underdogs compared to the USC team, but even Stanford and maybe UCLA. But we knew that we have a really good team. I think we needed time to adjust to our new system, new tech. Just saying that was the year when we started to rely more on the statistics. That was James Graham creation. And I can tell you that in the beginning, for sure, but I think many players were really skeptical. We have different tactics. Just saying, for example, in Europe, if the center scored an action goal from the center defender, the coach would probably yell the hell out of him, and probably he would never play again. In 2013, we have a different tactics. James Graham proved that by the statistics that the center's chance of scoring goals, it's way much lower when the center defender is not putting a really hard work on him. Just throw out their hands, jump on him, and the rest of the guys just came and help the center defender. It was really hard to adjust in the beginning, but when the results were coming, I think everybody started to trust the system, and it worked. That was mentality, I think, the biggest challenge for us, plus how we're going to handle the pressure. We beat everybody in the regular season, and I remember when we beat SC at UOP, that was, I think, the breakthrough when we really believed we can win this whole thing. I believe that the main reason why we succeeded was because we trusted the system, we trusted each other, and we really trust the work, what we put it in. The atmosphere, it was great. I mean, we were winning. The results were coming. Of course, everybody was super happy. sometimes we celebrated it. I think that was important also to celebrate together because that has a really good team bonding. How should I say it? Team bonding activity. Preparing, I think that time our coaching staff was the most well prepared coaching staff in the whole league. I mean, every day before every game, we got the video records, the cutted video records of the opponent teams, the weaknesses, about the tactics. We were challenged also to forced to know the opponent's tactics and weaknesses. We had some quizzes, and we were punished really badly if somebody didn't know not anything, even small part of the opponent's tactics or weaknesses. So I could say that based on this stuff, coaching, preparing, we were really prepared. Team role, that was challenging for me in the beginning because I was playing center defender, but my regular position is on the left side, and it was hard to try myself out in a newer position. But to be honest, it wasn't even a question for me to do it or not. Of course, I wanted to help the team, my teammates, in any way what was possible. So, but I could say that it's easily adjusted to this new role, and of course I enjoyed it because I could be a useful part of this system and of the team. Tips for you guys for the future: and don't be scared. Do your best job. Trust in yourself. Seriously, that's simple. I remember in the semi-final game, it went perfectly. In the final game, from my opinion, of course, I was really tired thanks to the Stanford game in the semi-final, but I was scared, to be honest. And after the game, I promised to myself, if this happens anytime in my life, in sport, I'm not going to be scared. I will do the best what I could, and because I did the work, so I was prepared. Of course, it was a newer atmosphere, so I think 2,500 people were there cheering us, celebrating. Plus, it was the final, and it's really hard to play a final. That was, to be honest, my first final game in my life, and of course, it's a new thing. But after that, I promised to myself, and thanks God, to be honest, I'm still living my life and playing water polo accordingly. I was playing in the Champions League. I wasn't scared anymore. I was playing in the, I don't even know the English word for that, one lower level than the Champions League, European League, I don't know. I wasn't scared there either in the Hungarian League, either also. So don't be scared. Trust in yourself. Trust in your teammates. Basically, because you guys did the hard work. What can happen? And last thing, how can you be ready and prepare yourself right now when this COVID-19 virus came in the picture? Just for saying, at the moment, I'm playing at OSC with Eddie, and we were ranked number 1 right now in the Hungarian League, and we are the group leaders sitting on the position 1 in the Champions League as well, beating FTC and Proreco as well. Thanks to this COVID-19 virus, our main sponsor said, thank you, it was enough. So 1 week ago, our coaching staff and general manager said, no problem, guys, you are doing a great job, but we have some financial problems. So basically that's it. Myself and the rest of the team said, okay, shit can happen, but we are not going to loosen up. We are putting the hard work in again, just like we did earlier. So every day we are getting dryland practices, workouts from our coaching staff, which is really good. I'm still in shape. Okay, I wasn't in the pool for right now, I would say 3 weeks, but thanks to the dryland workouts, we are physically in shape. Plus, sport is a main. The sport has a main role in our life. So I'm not the kind of guy who's sitting at home and doing nothing. I can do it, for example, 2-3 days, and after that I'm going crazy. So I'm doing the dryland workouts, and I'm doing other activity sports as well, just like tennis. So basically playing tennis like at least 4 times a week. These things, these different sports are really important to keep in shape. I think that's a useful tips for you guys as well. Thanks for seeing me. I wish you guys the best luck and good job. Keep it going. Bye.
Hey boys, Jeff wanted me to give you guys a little insight into kind of what our mindset was in 2013 and how it was different than maybe any other year. 2013 at UOP was maybe one of the best years of my life. I don't think I've enjoyed playing water polo so much than I did that year. Every day we showed up to practice. Practices were serious, and we competed every single day because honestly, some of those practices and the scrimmages we had between the guys on our team were better than the games we were going to get. We were so talented, so deep. And I really think the thing that set that year apart from anything else is the seriousness we showed up to every single day of practice, and we really competed because there were guys who were so talented and ended up becoming All-Americans, but were never going to get to play. And every day we fought, and guys fought for their playing time, and it really showed when we got to games. I think that year we must have won 5, 6, 7, 8 games by 1 goal. And I really think it was those practices where we really showed up and came to play every single day that made us win those 1-goal games. The margins in those 1-goal games are so small, and it's the little things like showing up to practice every day with an intensity and trying to win a national championship every single day that really set us above in 2013. Obviously, it didn't work out as well, but we came pretty damn close, and I think that it was the best UOP team ever, and I'm not sure it will ever be beaten. But I really think the thing that I think back about that year were the joy I had with my teammates. We were together 24/7. We loved each other. We loved practicing. We loved hanging out together. And it's a special year in my life that I will never forget, and something that I draw back on still playing professionally and playing on the national team now. I think about how much love I had for the game in 2013, and I try to emulate that in the game, in the practices I have now. So go ahead, keep diving through that season. It's an amazing season to watch, and keep listening to Jeff. He's a genius coach, and you guys are really lucky to have him. All right, good luck.
Hi guys, I'm Balaji Adi, aka Eddie, as some of you might have heard about me before. So we were asked by Jeff to help you guys with some advices and maybe give some guidance for your season coming up next year, or even for some of you to start your college career. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about our big season in 2013 and what happened prior to that season. So one of the key elements to our success was the team chemistry at UOP. So when we got there, we were like the same, like most of you, like 7, 18, 19 years old. So we might have been just a bunch of idiot young kids doing stupid shit in the beginning. But as time went by, we became first of all, a very good friend, and we became let's say, man later on. However, when it was about training time, we were very competitive with each other. Sometimes I can say even too competitive, if you know what I mean. But once we got out of the pool, we were all good friends and we were hanging out together in our free time. So these connections remain up today as we are trying to keep in touch as much as is possible from all around the world. So basically, that was one of our main elements that we could succeed during our years back in UOP. So a little bit about the years prior to 2013. First of all, it took an enormous amount of hard work and dedication towards the team from each individuals that made us able to eventually get into the NCAA Championship game. One of the other key to the success was to make everyone believe and buy into the system that James built. Don't need to say that it was maybe the hardest for us Europeans as we faced a different waterpolo culture that we were coming from. Talking about myself, I gotta admit that I was pretty stubborn at the time, and I tried to solve the problems my own way, which obviously didn't always work. But once when I started to realize that it wasn't gonna work, and I got to be part of the system in order to achieve our goals, that's when we all started succeeding. It's the only way to succeed and to be successful if you work as a team in the long run. Don't need to say, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the last one who admitted this. You can just ask James about it. I'm sure he can tell you long and memorable stories about this and about our relationship back then. So it was tough every once in a while, but when I realized that that's the only way to cooperate, then everything was good and we started winning games. About my role on the team, back then I was one of the co-captain with Goran Tomašević, and we were trying to lead the team towards success, obviously, which wasn't hard from one point because the mentality of the team was really good, and in addition we got guidance from James as well whenever we needed, and he helped us so much. That. I really like being in the position. I like having the responsibility. Obviously, being held accountable for my actions are not always easy. Sometimes it's hard, but it helped me to stay focused and push me every day to work even harder than the day before. It was just great to know that whenever one of us had a bad day, there was always someone on the team who stepped up for us and led the team during the game or during the weekdays and the practices, whenever it was needed. So we were pushing each other to as much as possible to perform at the best level it was possible. Well, 2013 was the year for us. NCAA semi and the final was a special one. There was such an exceptional atmosphere that I can't really describe, and I can't really compare to anything I've ever experienced in my life before that, obviously. The craziness of the fans and the organization and the style, the NCAA banquet before the tournament and the stake of the game was more special than we ever experienced before. So although I played 2 Euro Cup and the World Cup final back here in Hungary in front of our home crowd, that was attended by 10 to 10,000 people. Sorry, NCAA final in 2013 was just still special because there was nothing we met before. Even though we suffered a tough loss, that actually still makes me emotional. is still an amazing memory that I'm not gonna ever forget. That's for sure. You know, a little bit about the current situation. At this point, all the pools have been closed in Hungary for like a month due to the virus. So all we can do is do like, you know, dry and workout, which means we do weights like 4 or 5 times a week, together with my old friend Bolán Szabó from UOP. So it's easier to complete these workouts if you have someone to do it with. Someone that can push you even when it gets hard, mentally and physically as well. So overall, the most important thing about this whole, you know, college career is to make sure you enjoy every second of it. I know it doesn't feel like it, but believe me, it's gonna be very short, and it will seem like an eye blink. I mean, it does for me at least, and it did. In my personal opinion, I have learned so much during my years. And as I said in the beginning, I might have been maybe an idiot kid when I got there, but it made me who I am today, and I feel blessed to be able to say I was part of this organization because I just learned so much from others and from James as well. Obviously, there will be tough times. There will. If anyone says it will be easy, they're lying, you know. But when it gets hard, that's when you gotta stay mentally focused on your goals, and that's when you gotta make sure to work with yourself to improve yourself. And the guy who is, you know, sitting right next to you in any time. So basically, that's gonna help you turn things over and make it for the better. So overall, good luck and work hard. And listen to James, obviously. Good luck. Bye, guys.